Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the channel. Today, we'll take a look at top 10 performances of Jim Brown. Before you begin, be sure to like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more future updates. Number 10, The Running Man. With a plot centered on government broadcast death matches, The Running Man features Arnold Schwarzenegger at the height of his fame. For all the right reasons, the bombastic over-the-top live-action video game spectacle is just as horrible as you remember it. What is the significance of this film's inclusion on the list? Aside from the fact that Jim Brown portrays Fireball, a villain who wears a rocket pack that also shoots fire, what else is there to say? Because of its widely imitated, barely veiled political criticism and eerily accurate picture of reality television, The Running Man has stood the test of time. Number 9, I'm Gonna Get You Sucka. Keenen Ivory Wayans' feature film directorial debut, I'm Gonna Get You Sucka, is a 1988 American blaxploitation parody film written, directed, and starring Keenen Ivory Wayans. Wayans, a blaxploitation film lover, drew inspiration for the film from his youth spent viewing these films, which accounted for the majority of black films made in the 1960s and 1970s. When Jack Spade, Keenen Ivory Wayans, returns to the ghetto, he discovers that his brother has died of a gold chain overdose. With the help of his idol, John Slade, Bernie Casey, and a crew of washed-up crime fighters, Spade seeks vengeance on Mr. Big John Vernon, a white criminal leader who sells gold chains on the streets. Spade discovers that he must take matters into his own hands to complete the job in this zany spoof of 1970s blaxploitation films. Number 5, Mars Attacks, 1996. Mars Attacks, by Tim Burton, may not have won any Oscars, but it did have an interesting ensemble of characters, including a strong performance by Jim Brown as Byron Williams, a Las Vegas casino employee and former champion boxer. Brown created a name for himself on the football field by destroying defenders. He unleashed his rage on a horde of Martian invaders in Mars Attacks, and managed to take down their ambassador before being overrun himself. To put it another way, knowing Jim Brown has our backs is reassuring if and when aliens attack our Earth. Number 7, Dark of the Sun. Curry, Rod Taylor, a professional soldier, is sent to lead a risky expedition in the Congo. Curry is needed by the region's chief to guard a train transporting valuables that is slithering through rebel-controlled territory. Curry enlists the help of a local named Ruffo, Jim Brown, and 2 other men for the job, a hard-drinking doctor, Kenneth Moore, and a former Nazi, Peter Karsten, and the trio work to protect the train from marauding marauders. Number 6, Rio Conchos. When a shipment of repeating rifles is stolen from the U.S. cavalry, Captain Haven, Stuart Whitman, and S.G.T. Franklin are dispatched to recapture them. With the help of James Lassiter, Richard Boone, an alcoholic former Confederate and Indian hater, and Rodriguez, a Mexican murderer, Tony Franciosa. Lassiter, who owns one of the rifles, claims it was given to him by his enraged former boss Call Pardee, while an Apache woman informant discloses that Pardee plans to sell the stolen weapons to her people. Number 5, Any Given Sunday. The Miami Sharks, led by D'Amato, Al Pacino, were the best 4 years ago. Now, his squad is dealing with 3 straight losses, declining attendance, and aging stars, particularly quarterback Jack Cap Rooney, who is 39 years old, Dennis Quaid. Off the pitch, D'Amato is dealing with a failing wife and estranged children, and he's on the verge of colliding with Christina Pagniaxi, Cameron Diaz, the Sharks' young president and co-owner. Number 4, 100 Rifles. When Yaki Joe, Burt Reynolds, a half-breed Indian, robs an Arizona bank, he is chased by lawman Lidecker, Jim Brown. Joe is apprehended while fleeing to Mexico by General Verdugo, Fernando Lamas, who is fighting the Yaqui Indians. When Lidecker tries to intercede, he is also arrested and imprisoned. Working together, the two flee to the hills, where Lidecker meets gorgeous Yaqui freedom warrior Sarita, Raquel Welch, and begins to doubt his loyalties. Brown portrayed Lydecker, an American lawman who initially pursues Reynolds' robber character, but later joins forces with him to aid the Yaqui people in their fight against a harsh government. The love scene between Jim Brown and Raquel Welch is the most renowned element of the film that crossed racial barriers. It would be one of the first films to feature interracial sex scenes. Number 3. Tick, Tick, Tick. Ralph Nelson directed Tick, 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 a 1970 American criminal drama film. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer distributed it. It stars Jim Brown in the character of an African-American sheriff elected in a small county in the American South. And it was racially inflammatory at the time, for its cutting-edge representation of racial relations and suspenseful narrative. It has become something of a cult classic. Jim Price is elected sheriff in a small southern town, defeating incumbent John Little. Racial tensions remain in the neighborhood, and Price receives no help from Little, who is stepping down, or Mayor Parks, who insists on being consulted on any decision made by the incoming sheriff. After his drunken driving kills a young girl, a white man named John Braddock is charged with manslaughter. Braddock's father wields great power and insists on his son's release. Bradford Wilkes, Price's deputy, is defeated by Benji Springer, Little's former deputy. Another rape suspect is apprehended, this time a black guy named George Harley. The townspeople's mood is turning sour by the minute, especially when Braddock's father threatens to drive his son out. Number 3. The Hard Way, 1974. The Hard Way starring Jim Brown, Fred Williamson and Jim Kelly is arguably the penultimate blaxploitation film. It checks all the boxes of what made the genre so great. Big stars, stylized action, an improbable plot, multi-layered political satire, beautiful women and groovy 70s audio. The Hard Way may not be Jim Brown's greatest film, but no one can argue its influence over the ensemble action film genre that has become a staple in modern cinema. Number 1. The Dirty Dozen. Colonel Breed gives the rogue Major Reisman, Lee Marvin, a crucial mission as D-Day approaches. He must train a team of soldiers to parachute across enemy lines and assassinate German personnel in a French castle. The soldiers, who have been recruited from murderers, rapists, and criminals on death row, have been assured that their sentences will be commuted. Despite their past, the 12 men prove to be a brave and vibrant group. They will exact vengeance. Led by Major Reisman, Jim Brown remained the baddest man on the earth despite an ensemble cast of enormous alpha canines like Lee Marvin and Charles Bronson. A dozen misfits were sent on a mission to infiltrate and demolish a Nazi castle in this World War II action film. Brown portrayed Robert Jefferson, a kicking butthead who gives his life for his country. Brown's most well-known character, and the film is a classic. This concludes today's video. What are your thoughts on our list? Please let us know what you think in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates.